let's start. Hello everybody, welcome to my session. I changed my whole presentation this morning because I added a French flag at the upper left corner to honor all these people died yesterday. That's the only thing today. We're talking today about HDX3DPRO. There is, or this is, in my opinion, more an interactive session. So I'm not the guy who's sitting in front or standing in front, tell you a story, and you'll listen to that story. I want you and your feedback to that, what I'm telling you. And it will be very affordable for you if you take part in this discussion, because I got a lot of gifts here. And if I look at the audience, I will have enough shirts or calendars and some surprising gifts for you. So if you're asking a question or if you have a comment to make, you can choose by yourself what you want to have. Just say calendar or shirt, or say surprise, then I will put one of the surprising prizes. But you have no influence what kind of prize you will win. So,
SuperMicro server.
SuperMicro server.
That's in there.
Yeah, it fits in there. Yeah.
Well, at least it's Xeon Cobra.
Hey, who made a Cobra?
Okay. Let's first start. Who am I? My name is Roy Textor. Not a very common name. First name is English, last name is Latin. My second name is German. You can see it here. My ancestors are from France. My wife is born in Canada, and sometimes I think my little daughter is from outer space. I'm the owner CEO at a company called Textor IT. So because of the similarity between my company's name and my name, you may imagine it's my own company.
Oh.
I'm based in Kassel, Germany, which is really in the center of Germany. What is the comment?
I should also do it. Use my name for my company.
What do we do there? Everything from Citrix and a little Microsoft, so that part of Microsoft what you need if you're doing Citrix business, and in Citrix environments, everything around Citrix. I'm a Citrix solution advisor, and I've been in Citrix business since 1997 with a product at this time called WinFrame 1.7. Does anybody know? Yes. Of course. Shirt, calendar, or surprise?
Surprise.
Surprise!
Brave.
So, it's a package of tea. It's called Sweet Kiss.
Tea for the English, man. No, it's tea.
Let's go on. I'm not a VCP or MVP or CTP or something like this, but I do have all Citrix certifications. And Citrix named me a subject matter expert for Xenon and Desktop with the several versions, because I was involved in that before the release of them. For example, I was elected to write several of the items for these exams. Well, that's the reason why I got them all. But the thing I'm most proud of is I'm a 5 times marathon finisher. Okay, once again, I'm a 5 times marathon. Now you got it, okay.
5 out of how many?
Pardon me?
5 out of how many? How many marathons have you run that you haven't finished?
Oh, yeah, I finished one. I didn't finish one of them, yeah. So 5 finished, and one I get out at kilometer 32, I think. What I else do, you may expect it from the first flight, I'm the host of the German Citrix user group. Give me a minute to explain what we are doing there. It's not our main topic today. but I want to make the promotion for the user group. You can reach our website with these URLs. We have a blog, we have a forum, we do events that we call round tables. We got 8 of them in 2014 with about 150 attendees.
Big table.
8. We have 13 in 2015, and we expect 400 attendees till the end of the year. Then we did 2 sessions in summertime, in July and September, I think it was. Yeah, 2 of these roundtables, for example. The next one is in end of November in my hometown. So if you have nothing to do at this time, feel free to be invited to join this, and please spread this all around, even if you're not from Germany. In 2016, we were planning to have 9 to 10 roundtables, less, because there should be a bigger one at the end of the year that we will call the DCUG TechCon. This is still fixed, maybe at the second half in November next year. And your support is needed, so tell it everybody. If you are a guy who likes to present, you're very welcome. You're invited to do this. Even if you're not a German speaker, we will also have English sessions there. And
But no Dutch ones.
No, that's one.
no, no.
German and Dutch are probably the same. Mostly.
No, even the Dutch ones are invited. Okay, so that's it. And now switch to our main topic. NVIDIA Grid K2, you may have seen this these days in many presentations. What is a grid card? Looks like this, has these specifications. Let's go over here. 2 GPUs, 3072 cores, 8 gigs of RAM. It consumes up to 225 watts. It needs 2 slots to put in. It has a passive cooling, most surprisingly to me when I first time looked at NVIDIA Grid K2, because I know all these NVIDIA cards from the gaming PC of my son. That sizes of fans, but this one has a passive cooling. Therefore, you have to choose the right flow direction from which the air comes. You can see that this sign here, flow direction is from here to there. So if you have a wrong flow direction for your grid card choosing that doesn't fit to your server, you may blow your card or your server. And you need something like an installation kit. Does anybody know what an installation kit is?
Solder torch. A screwdriver. A screwdriver.
A screwdriver. Yeah, you need a screwdriver too. This is this one. This kind of cable is the installation kit, and it's different from server to server. So if you have a SuperMicro server and you cannot use this kind of cable for that server, for example, it won't fit. Maybe it's too short or too long, or the connectors are fitting, something like this. So if you order one of these cards, make sure to order the right installation kit within this card. Tell your vendor which server you're using, and then you will choose the right installation kit for you too. Okay. This is the backside. You can see the two GPUs here and there, and that's it. The server itself.
Did you open the card?
Pardon me?
Did you open the card? The front side, the black box. You can remove the black if you switch back. One back.
One back.
Yeah, you can remove that. Did you do that?
Yeah, you can remove that. There are some screws on top of the card.
Yeah,
you
done
can
it.
remove this card. And what you will find are these, what's it called, from copper, these tools.
Heat sink.
Yeah, heat sinks, yeah, exactly. And you saw them in different, yeah. But there are, as I said, no fans or something like that. Jan Hendrik?
Surprise.
Surprise.
More tea.
Oh no, this is That's a SuperMicro server that comes in bundling with this NVIDIA Grid K2 card. If you open, you will find a 1 unit rack mount server, 19 inches, which is a very short one. It's about 50 centimeters, about this deep. And if you look in front of the server, you can't see any slots for drives. There are no hot plugs for hard disk or something like this. Just a switch for power and some lights for LAN and power and something like this. From the backside, you can see the two power supplies, serial USB, IPMI for management, 2 LAN ports, VGA, and on here you can see the grid card, which is here on the right side of the server. This one has only one CPU. This is not a 2-socket machine, only one CPU fits there, and it comes with a 6-core with 3.5 gigahertz. It has 64 gigs of RAM, 4 times 16. The board itself supports up to 512 gigs of RAM, but if you want to lift this up, you have to throw away these 4 times 16 gigs.
So how's the airflow through the casing?
Oh yeah, airflow, you can see it. No, you can't see it. Here are some cooling fans. And using air from here and flow direction is to the backside. So make sure that you never hit this part here, because then you will stop air from cooling the GPUs. There's a 512 gig Samsung SSD inside, here at the upper left corner, and there's space left for one more hard disk you can self-plug in. It has 2 Intel 2-port gigabit NICs, and here 400 watts rather than 1005. That's all. How to set up this? Does anybody knows what 10 to extend means? Yeah? You first? What does 10 to extend? No? You don't know? Who knows?
The installation succeeds after 9 tries.
Okay, it's okay, let's see. You will keep all the stitches. Okay.
Almost as good as robot.
Close.
So, 10 to 10 means that it only needs 10 minutes to install a server. So, this is what this is what Citrix announces when they first released their first version in 2008. It was, I think, it was only 10 minutes to install the server. You were right. It only took about 10 minutes to do this. It took very much longer to install all these but if you finish with this, you got up and running server host. I added this one to NVIDIA because it doesn't take longer than 1 minute to install the NVIDIA card. The first thing you have to do is to install the NVIDIA GPU manager. You can download the software package from the NVIDIA website. Then you got an ISO file, and inside the ISO file you find an RPM package. You can extract this, and I'm using WinCP to upload this to a temp directory on the Zen server. And then I switched on the console to this temp directory, and with a single line, command line, I can install the GPU manager. After this, a reboot is needed, and when the server is up again, I can query which package is installed, and I can see here it's for server 6.5, and this is the version of the driver that is installed. After this, I'm proving if the kernel driver is running. So if you run this command and it gives not a feedback, then you're aware the driver isn't installed right, and you have to do this again. But if this works, you can run the NVIDIA SuperMicro command, and you get an overview of what is running on the server. You can see these two grid cards here, grid 0 and grid 1. This one has 37 degrees, this one is 29 degrees. They're consuming 28 or 27 watts of RAM. They might choose 117 times 2 is 235 watts. And this machine is already, this GPU is already allocated with about a gig of RAM. It means there's still a virtual machine running. This virtual machine you can see here, that is fired. So we got a load on this GPU, but this GPU is a little cooler than this one. Huh? This load is cooler.
Placing on the board.
Placement.
Placement on the board.
Placement on the board.
Yeah, yeah. It's because of the airflow of the board. So the GPU is allocated that is consuming this air from the flow direction of the other GPU. This one is getting a little warmer. So always in this time, this GPU will be a little warmer than this one because it was cooled with the air from this one. That really totally good.
Surprised me.
Surprised me.
I just take the risk.
Oh, what's this? Oh. The golden one.
Golden one. Oh. Who's in for chocolate?
GPU configuration by Xen Center. If you open Xen Center GPU, you will find this part where you can configure the GPUs. What you can see here is two VMs running, each on one of the GPUs, and all profiles are available by choosing for a virtual machine. You can change this. You can change this by clicking here, edit GPU profiles, select GPUs, and then you can check or uncheck all the profiles that should be available or not. This one is grayed out. For what reason?
There is one already.
Yeah, right. Calendar or
I had a shirt, please.
a shirt? Which size?
Large.
A large one? Here's a large one.
Thank you.
So you can't change the configuration with the profile and it's still allocated. So this is running on one of these VMs, so this is grayed out. That's the reason for it. You have a placement policy. Maximum density, put as many VMs as possible on the same GPU, or maximum performance, put VMs on as many GPUs as possible. Which policy is this? Maximum performance?
Yes.
How much? Yes? That's what it says. Wasn't that difficult? Okay, calendar or shirt was a price?
I'm surprised.
So let's see what's left.
Yeah, you still have any surprise.
It's a citrus bag. It's a citrus bag. Another tea. It's a blueberry muffin tea.
Did anyone give you anything to
No.
So, assigning vGPU profile per VM. If you open this drop-down menu, you can see all the profiles you make available to choose for a VM, and you can choose one per VM to appear when the VM starts. Then you boot the VM, and then you're about to install the NVIDIA drivers. You have to download the package from the NVIDIA website. It's very simple. You just choose which card you have, which version of server you're running, if it is Xen server or ESX, for example. And then it shows you the right package to download.
So not a special edition or something because you're crossing through just.
What they provide to you is always the right package for your right server if you choose the right configuration. Yeah. You install the Express setup, it takes a little, and then the driver is up and running. If you reboot the machine, you see the technology is changing. If you look at the console of the machine, before you install the driver, it's at a very low resolution, and after the reboot, it comes up to the NVIDIA driver and the graphic mode changes to a higher resolution. Even mouse cursor changes. You will no longer have this arrow to point on. You will only have a little spot, which doesn't change if you move over a window, for example. It makes it a little difficult to catch the right one. But you can see, if it was right here in NVIDIA grid profile, you have chosen with as a new device and device manager. And if you make a right click on the desktop, you can choose the NVIDIA control panel, and in the NVIDIA control panel, you can make all these settings which you know from a hardware installation too. Any questions till here? After this, you have to set up your VDA with the option HDX3DPRO. So I got a customer in August it was, I think. I was on holiday and he called me and I set up all this stuff as you told me, but I do not have any HDX3DPRO in my virtual machine because he uses this generic package for his VDA setup, and it was not an HDX3DPRO setup, it was only a regular one. So you have to make sure to choose the right. If you have installed the VDA with your settings, of course, then you need to reboot the server, make your extended desktop configuration with machine catalogs, delivery groups, and so on. You have to assign a user or a user group, and then you're up and running. Everything is done, and you're ready, right? Right? Yeah. Okay, then stop the session here. Now we're finished. Now we are not finished. The part, what's coming next, is like this. Enter at your own risk. Does anybody know this sign? Ever seen it before? Pardon me?
Just ignore it and go on.
Click. Okay. Does anybody know from which movie this sign is? No? No? You win a special prize if you know?
Yeah.
No?
No. Yeah.
Do? No. This is from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Huh? Wow.
These people are too young for me.
Yeah, I think so. That means we are too old, but
yes.
Okay.
Are we all going to do a jump to the left now?
Yeah, step to
you're
the
doing
right.
fine. So, enter at your own risk means I have some examples for tweaking BIOS, for configuring Extend server, your VM, and so on. But these may fit to your environment, and they may not fit. So these are only examples, and there's a huge, very huge load of settings you can take from, as I said, from the BIOS to the server, to the virtual machine, to the drivers, and so on. And you have to figure out what best fits to your needs, to your environment, or to your customers' needs, maybe to set this up successfully. So just examples. BIOS. If you go to BIOS of the service, it's recommended to disable C states, for example. Disable this one, 64-bit MMIO, memory hold for PCI MMIO, above 4G decoding. This all means the same. It depends on the hardware vendor how he's naming this. For example, if you're looking at performance settings and you have a Dell server, 720 or 730, you have to change the profile from performance per watt to performance. That the machine performs well. If you got an IBM server, the same setting, it's called maximum performance. And if you do this on the SuperMicro machine I owned, they set power technology to max performance. This already means the same in all servers, but they name this different. Extend server. To ensure Extend server users are optimized for performance, run this command Windows 0, QMD, and so on. It will take effect after the next reboot, provided your BIOS is properly enabled. So this is to set the Xen server itself to use the max performance settings. But you have to reboot after you set this up. You can set up this command that will be take immediate effect, but it will not work after reboot. So maybe you can combine these commands together. That one takes effect immediately, and that one after you're rebooting the server. Vsync. The VGPU 1.2 implementation generates a 60 Hz vsync. Any application that syncs to vsync will render at approximately 70 Hz. You may switch vsync off in control panel for better performance. Why do we bother with vsync when we have FRL? Who knows what FRL is?
Frame rate limited.
The frame rate limiting, right? Yeah. So you can choose between
Oh, t-shirt, please.
the t-shirt,
Yeah, I'm getting sick of those hiding posts.
which you can share it with all the other guys. It's probably which size?
L, please.
An L.
Thank you.
So, vsync is installed by default, but NVIDIA which fail WHQL and some applications depend on vsync even being available. That means if vsync is not installed, it's not activated, you cannot install the driver with WHQL, and but we do not need vsync for this, so we can off in NVIDIA control panel. Frame rate limiter. The frame rate limiter is controlled by any internal VGPU setting in read-only configuration files. NVIDIA does not support editing of the VGPU configuration files, but validation of benchmark performance can be temporarily disabled on the GPU as follows. Shut down all the VMs, log in Xen servers down 0, and then you have to change the conf file you want to edit from frame rate limiter 1 to frame rate limiter 0. So you do not have the limited frame rate to this 60 Hz, what appears down before. Then you have to save the modified file, and by reverting the setting to 1, you can undo this. Or if you want to set this for one particular machine or an individual VM, you can use this exec command with the UUID of the corresponding VM to set this to 0. Then you have unlimited frame rates in your environment. vCPU. Now we're switching from vGPU to vCPU. Give the VM a minimum of 4 vCPUs. What's the issue with this? Overcommitment is fine, I think, because we ship a lot of workload from the CPU to GPUs, and overcommitment will be planned really. Windows client OSs can only support 2 sockets, and if you assign 4 vCPUs in a Xen server environment to a VM, it appears as 4 sockets. But the VM only can handle 2 sockets, so there only appear 2 vCPUs, even if you assign 4. So what do you have to do? You have to tell the VM that the VM does not use 4 sockets. It has to use, like this, it has to use, for example, 2 sockets with 2 cores. Then you have the 4 CPUs. Or 1 socket, for example, with 4 cores, something like this. This setting is available in Xen server since a long time. With this set command, you can set this parameters per VM. Since 0.7. This is also available here in Zen Center in the GUI, but you can configure it by command line even if you're running 6.2, for example, or 6.1. This VM has 8 CPUs, and what's here choose is 2 sockets with 4 cores. What do you see? What's more common configuration for a client OS? 2 sockets with 4 cores, or maybe 1 socket with 8 cores?
2 sockets with 4 cores.
2? Why do you think?
There is already 1 CPU core.
So think about the applications you're running, for example. Many applications are not able to handle different sockets, but they are able to handle different cores. They're not multi-socket compatible, but they can handle multi-cores. The experience I did many times that 1 socket with 8 cores, a core machine, for example, but much better in most environments than 2 sockets with 4 cores, for example. But you have to figure this out, yeah, in your environments. Thin clients. If you look about thin clients, what kind of thin clients you're using in your environments? Nothing? HP? What kind of HP? How are their configuration? How many CPUs? How many? Okay. Do they run well in this environment? Yeah, even with HDX3DPRO. Yeah.
There's an
5 minutes.
There's an idle one which is running quite well.
Which one?
I think UV6, it's
Yeah.
quite expensive. But
UV6, yeah. The
It's
UV6
the new-
is the flagship of.
yeah, but it's running quite well.
Yeah. But it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
Right. It's about 500 euros, I think.
I think more.
600?
Yeah, something.
We have to talk about maybe buying clients.
It was at the beginning, maybe the price got down. It was just released and they said it's around 600. We only bought one for testing.
Okay. So, take a look at the clients that they are HDX3DPRO certified. Not only HDX3DPRO ready. So it's the same when you buy a flat screen, for example. Yeah, they are HD ready, for example, but they can display full HD and save to HDX3DPRO thin clients. Look that they are using a deep compression decoding, for example. These specifications, 1.6 GHz CPU is required, 2.4 GHz recommended. A quad-core CPU, for example, this one from either has a quad-core CPU and multi-monitor support. So if you're running these environments, you're often have customers that are using, for example, CAD applications, something like this, and they're using multi-monitors and thin clients in that range support multi-monitors. Some applications that are running in environments are set up in the past, just to imagine what's possible to speed up. These are classic CAD applications, for example, but we also have browsers or in simple office application. They all will have a benefit of GPU virtualization. What about this Windows 10? Is Windows 10 running well with HDX3DPRO? Yes, it is, but it's not supported at this time. You need to know. Not because of NVIDIA, Citrix at this time doesn't support HDX3DPRO in Windows 10 environments. Some key takeaways. Look at certified hardware. If you set up these environments, not only at the NVIDIA website for certified hardware for grid cards or the new ones, even if they are certified for the hypervisor you're using. sizing of the power supply and your UPS will become more important. Look at the driver versions. Always run the same driver versions on your server and in your VM. Don't make this. And fine-tuning and application-specific configurations will take the most time if you're setting up these environments. So let's see. I bought a little demo. I hope it will work. So now there's a part which Gunnar likes the most. I will receive a passcode on my watch. Here we go. Do you know this guy? Can you get around? Ira. So that's from my side. Any questions, more discussions? I got some gifts left, even from the surprising ones.
I haven't worked with the grid card yet, but do you have to disable desktop composition redirection? Does that work in conjunction, or do you know?
No, this works in conjunction. Depends on what your what the goal is you want to reach. Yeah.
You can combine it.
Yeah. Do you have a calendar or a shirt or
I'm sure.
a shirt? Which size?
L, please.
L.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When I've done this before, as you can see, latency isn't necessarily a problem at times. But bandwidth is a big change from standard ICA. So can you just add some colour around that for the rest of the guys? It's not 100K. It's considerably more than that.
Yeah.
When you're doing a decent session in Katia or something like that.
So Citrix recommends 2 megabits of bandwidth if you're using HDX3DPRO per user. But it depends a lot on your workload, what you're running. So if you see Ira there running on the iPad, I tried this out this morning, that consumes about 150 to 200 kilobyte of RAM. Yeah? But if you're running huge CAD application, for example, with real-time rendering on this, and you're running this around, it consumes, it's hard to say, maybe up to 2 megabits of RAM. And if you're looking at the screen, you find a small icon at the lower right where you can switch off the compression load. And if you switch off the compression load, the bandwidth raises up to, for example, 10 megabits of RAM. And this wasn't available to use this in environment environments, for example. Even in LAN, if you're that much users, and it may be a problem from the bandwidth perspective.
Yeah, got it. We used about 3.5 on average, but that was over 350 milliseconds. That was from the UK to Australia, the UK to Singapore, and the UK to China. Effectively for the proof of concept, which is live. And even though you've got that sort of delay with speed of light, it was phenomenal performance. And that was full Katia models doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that I'll have gone with the SuperMicro as well.
So it's between 300 and 400 milliseconds of latency might work if you go above this for.
Well, this was using space mice as well, so it was really hammering the
connection
WAN.
Yeah.
Really cool. That.
Same graphics cards?
Yeah, cases. Yeah. But we had 2 it was almost passed through. It had to be quadro. I think there's 260 cubes at most we could get out of the density, but it was still
Like a shirt or a calendar or a...
I'll have a large shirt, please.
A large?
Yeah. Or a small one, I'll take it to the missus.
Small?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Okay, 2 smalls and 1 large.
Any more questions? No? Okay, then I'm done. Feel free to contact me, just type in my name in Google. Google all hits. It's me. Thank you.